sun is just starting to climb up over the treetops. And it's gonna be a beautiful day, that's plain to see.
Welcome to Bill Dance Outdoors, America's most popular and longest running TV fishing show.
Now I've gone fishing with Bill Dance today.
It wasn't too many years ago that most bass fishermen would pull their boats out of the water and hang up their bass tackle for another season just about the time the weather was getting chilly. But today, anglers across the nation are beginning to recognize the great potential of wintertime bass fishing. Got it now. He's in the cover. Get out of there. Boy, you're talking about a pudgy little one. Look at that. That little fella right there hadn't missed much, has he? Look how fat that little. Woo! There you go. See ya. Boy. Now, latitude plays an important part of winter fishing, and for purposes of our discussion, we're going to eliminate those waters that lie far enough south so the water temperature never really drops far below the comfort zone of the bass. Instead, our show today will center around areas where the water temperature drops into the 40s, maybe even to the 30s. It's really surprising just how many fishermen believe that bass can't be caught during the winter months. But obviously, this is not true. Since all fish are cold-blooded creatures, they're directly affected by the surrounding water temperatures, and nature has tailored their metabolic rates to temperature. Body functions are at a norm when bass resides within their comfort zone. But as water temps fall, the fish become sluggish and slow down. They don't need as much food to sustain themselves, and their digestive rates are correspondingly slower. But in order to live, they must eat to remain healthy for good reproductivity in the spring. What a pretty fish right there, buddy. That is a pretty fish. I mean, he just barely hit it. The fall rate is the key here, I'm telling you. The fall rate is key. They make this jig in 4 or 5 sizes, but if you get too heavy a jig, it's falling off that shallow cover. Take my gloves off. Come here, pretty thing. Boy, he wanted it too. That's a little 3/16 ounce Bass Pro weedless jig. Look at that. Now that clear water, the coloration's pretty. That's a pretty little fish. Yes, you are. All right, it's time to go home. Ta-ta.
Bill Dance Outdoors, sponsored by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Rebel, catch fish anywhere. And by Mercury Marine, go boldly. Today's Conditions Log is brought to you by the Tennessee Department of Tourist Development. Come experience the kind of beauty that can only be made in Tennessee. Go online today for your free Tennessee vacation guide.
Whoa, buddy. All that cover right there. Get out of that cover. There you go. I saw him. Pretty thing. Just coming right up on top of that pad stem, and just as it fell off, he just came up and got it. I got you. I got you. Boy, got it way back in there too. Look at that pretty colored fish right there. My. You know, it's a proven fact that bass are not going to chase a lure very far, if at all, in 40-degree water. They're prone to bite slow-moving offerings, then attempt to chase down prey that's just smoking it through the water. A fisherman's understanding of this is the key to wintertime fishing in many parts of the country. When fishing cold water, you've got to really concentrate on what you're doing, what your lure is doing, and most importantly, you have to think slow. Now the idea is to fish a lure as slowly as you can, and even then, you're still probably fishing it too fast, especially when you're not catching much. A largemouth isn't about to work for food, and a bass that's ravenous in the summer can probably get by on about 1/10 the food intake in 40-degree water. As a general rule, wintertime fishing is a clear water situation. True, you can catch fish in a muddy water environment, but nothing like you can in clear water. But you can also expect that the majority of catchable fish are going to drop down a little bit deeper and hold tighter to cover if it's available. Now the area we're fishing today is a large section of this wetland. Here the majority of water only averages about 2 to 3 feet deep, but it has one unique feature, a deeper water section in the form of a depression that has an average depth of about 3.5 to 4 feet deep. And that's where the majority of the bass are, along the edge of the drop-off here. Now along this depression, there are a couple of fingers that run off into it that average about the same depth, 3 to 4 feet deep for a short distance. Now 2 to 3 feet isn't deep, but in a shallow area, a wetland area that we have now, it averages about 1 foot to 1.5 feet deep. 3 feet is considered deep. You know, a tactic that seems to work extremely well when fish are reluctant to take your bait. Now they're biting today, but they're biting extremely slow. You're getting a hit here and you're getting a hit there, but at least we're getting a few bites. But a tactic that seems to work extremely well when they are a little bit reluctant to bite, you want to work your lure at a snail's pace. Now the idea is to make it as easy as possible for the bass to take your offering with minimum effort. Now successful captures in nature aren't always easy for predators, and in 40 to 42, 44 degree water, it's even more difficult. Consequently, an inactive predator like the bass might ignore something it views as more difficult to capture. But on the other hand, if something moves by slowly and looks natural, something that doesn't move too fast or isn't too intimidating, well, you better get ready.
Today's show is brought to you in part by Quantum Rods and Reels, Quantum Performance Tuned, Mystic Lubricants, Lubrication Domination, and Tracker Boats, fish the finest. Today's show is sponsored in part by Berkeley, Catch More Fish, Bill Dance Exclusive Rods by Quantum, and by Garmin. Fight your fish, not your fish finder. Today's equipment log is brought to you by Gamakatsu, because the fish of a lifetime only comes once in a lifetime.
Oh, that's a pretty fish. Come on back. Get right here and get my hands on you. Been all over the place. Woo! How about a big, pretty fat one? Look at that. Whew! Boy. My goodness. Time to go back. See ya. Yes. I'll tell you one thing, of all the great lures and bass catching baits that are on the market today, there's not many that'll outproduce the one that I'm using for this situation. I'm talking about this little guy right here. It's Bass Pro Shops Pro Weedless 3/16 ounce round jig head with a Bass Pro Shop Swimming Elite chunk. What a combination. This truly is a dynamic bait for this situation, but only if presented properly. Let me show you how we've had our best success fishing it. Once the lure reaches the bottom, what I do is try and fish it as smoothly as possible, making it appear to look just like a slow-moving cold water crawfish. Just inching it along and occasionally giving it very slight twitches with my wrists. Naturally, in warmer water, the presentation would be somewhat faster. You know, spinning tackle is the best choice, and it does have many advantages at this time of the year. It allows you to cast lightweight lures that are necessary, and there's more give to spinning than bait casting. Therefore, it allows you to use lighter weight lines. But when you get into this thick stuff, lighter weight lines sometimes is going to cost you fish. But it is just, I mean, this stuff is just thick. Just take a look, just take a look right here what I'm talking about. You see all this stuff right here? All these vines, and look at it all out through there. And that fish hits you and he just takes off out through there with 6-pound test line. You're going to have your hands full with spinning. That's why I'm using casting, because I'm flipping. I'm casting to the edge, but I'm also flipping, making little short pitches to the holes. And when I get to the outside edge, I'll make a cast. But I don't want to cast way back in there, even with bait casting, because it's more than likely the fish is going to wrap me up. I'm going to spook catchable fish trying to go get that fish, and odds are I'm going to lose the fish anyway. If you'll look at this weed guard on this Bass Pro jig, it's perfectly in line with the hook, and that helps make it weedless. But if you really want to make it more weedless, what you can do is take it and take your needle nose pliers and catch the end of it and just bend it over. And what you're doing here, you're making an L shape right there. So as you work it along, it's climbing over the cover like that. See, that point is not even touching my finger. See? It's climbing over cover just like that. But when a fish hits it, it's going to push down and push it right over, and the hook will come right into the mouth of the fish.
The Bill Dance question and answer of the week is brought to you by Bill Dance Exclusive Rods by Quantum. Whether you're fishing for panfish, bass, catfish, or light saltwater, we have an action for you. Available at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's.
It's a new conventional braid using 9 100% polyethylene fibers. It's built to be smooth, quiet, and cast so easily. The 9 strands are woven together for strength, and this product is ideal for pitching, flipping, or casting, and available from 8 to 100 pound test. And it's a small diameter braid. Hey, an impressive line you're really gonna like.
Today's show is sponsored in part by Millennium Marine, a new class of comfort. And by Garmin Force Trolling Motors, fish with force. Closed caption provided by Power Pole, the original shallow water anchor.
Today's product tip is brought to you by Garmin and their GPS map series, chart plotter, sonar combos. With advanced sonar technology like Chirp and exclusive Panoptix all-seeing sonar, you'll spend less time finding your fish.
Let me show you an attractant that's highly effective. You know, I've heard fishermen talk about it for years, but I've never really tried it until just recently. I'm amazed. It's really powerful. This stuff really works. It makes any bait taste and smell alive. It's easy to apply with its trigger spray bottle. Shoots a stream or spray. Gulp Alive, it really works.
Come be part of Bill Dance Digital. Join us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Follow us.
You know, I think everybody has a pet lure they have a tremendous amount of confidence in, or a confidence lure. This particular one has certainly been mine. This Bass Pro Shop jig with this Swimming Elite chunk. Of course, I fished it in different sizes, from the little bitty size, the 3/16, the quarter, the 3/8, and then I've even moved on up to their bigger size, the tungsten, the half ounce size, and flipped it. But this combination, black and blue, with this Swimming Elite chunk, I just can't tell you how many fish I've caught on it. I've got a tremendous amount of confidence in it, not only during the winter months, but I look back, and when I look back of the extremely cold days, temperatures in the 20s with water temperatures at 39, 40, 38, 39, 40, 41 degrees, just extremely cold temperatures, to water temperatures in the 90s, 92, 93, air temperature 100, 102, 103 degrees. And this little combination is just produced for me summer, fall, winter, spring. It's just a bait that I've got a tremendous amount of confidence in. And I think when you've got a bait you've got a lot of confidence in, you're going to fish the bait a lot more carefully and a lot more thoroughly. And you're going to believe that every time you throw it, you're going to catch a fish on it. And then I think, I did it all on that little guy right there. Just gets up over it. Ooh, dropped it. No, it wasn't a fish. Boy, it gets on those pad stems. There he is. Oh, he's in the cover. Another nice one. come out of it. There he goes. Whoa, baby. Oh, that's a pretty fish. I don't know how you got that much jump in that cold water. I couldn't do that in that cold water to save my soul. Aren't she pretty? Woo! Get the old Bass Pro jig out of his face. Hold him up there. Look at that. Yes, sir. That's what we're talking about. Bye-bye. Yep, there's no doubt about it. Fishing when conditions are tough is a real challenge. It's seldom easy, but with the right approach, a lot of patience, and the right bait, even fishing in ice water can be very rewarding. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time. We'll see you.
Thanks for watching Bill Dance Outdoors. Join us here again next week.
Now I've gone fishing with Bill Dance today.